On today's show, should you traditionally publish or self-publish? Hi, and welcome again to another show. This is the show where recently we've just been going through my journey as an author, and the reason that we're doing that is to help you in writing the book that you have in you, as most people tend to say they have a book in them, and to get it out into the world. My name is Paul Allen Clifford, and I'm your host, and I'd love for you to join the conversation. So leave a comment below the video, or hit me up on Twitter, Paul Allen Cliff, PaulAlanclif, or you can always drop me a line on email, paul@trinitydigitalmedia.com. So there's a stigma to self-publishing in some people's minds, and there's real advantages to not publishing traditionally. So which should you do? Well, let me just go through a few of the high points and low points, and maybe we'll find something that'll help you. First off, if you traditionally publish in the pro category, there's a certain prestige to be able to say, yeah, my book is published by Random House, or my book is published by Hachette. Any of those, just really, there's something to that. I'm not going to denigrate that. It's nice having experts to help you with your book. You may not be an editor. You may not be an interior designer. You might not be a cover designer. You may not be great at doing a lot of things that a large publisher is great at. So that's pretty nice. And it's nice to have an advance. So don't hear me say that there's no reason to traditionally publish. I think there are very good reasons. But there are also very good reasons to self-publish. If you're self-publishing, that means you're in charge. It also means that no one can get in your way. I recently heard a story about an author that wanted to put cards on the windshields of people that were showing up at a sporting event that he wrote a book about the team for, and the publisher wouldn't let him. So they got in his way, and all the royalties go to you. So that's on the pro side for self-publishing. Now, traditional publishing does have some downsides. First off, there's a lack of control. If they say it has to go a certain way, it has to go a certain way, whether that's the best course of action or not. You have a lower per book royalty. You're probably looking at $1 or $2, really not a lot of money per book. And believe it or not, you do still need to do most of the publicity for your book. Now maybe your publisher will line up some interviews for you and things like that, but that doesn't mean that you don't really shoulder the lion's share of the publicity burden. Now, on the self-publishing side, there are a lot of jobs that you need to take on. Now, you can either do them yourself or you can hire them out, but you don't hit save once you're done writing your rough draft and you're done. No, the work has really just started if you're self-publishing. You have less help, so you've got to try and figure out how to do things, or try and find people to help you do these things. And there's a perceived lower quality when it comes to self-publishing. Now, I think that that's not the case, but it's still a perception. So which should you do? Well, it really depends on your book. It depends on if your book is for a very niche audience, like all my books are. So in that case, I've gone with a more self-published route, with one exception, and I'll talk about that in a second. It also helps if you've got a good audience where you can already do a lot of the marketing through them, then that means that you would be great at traditional publishing, because you could have the force of your audience behind you and the force of the publisher's work and get a New York Times bestseller, quite potentially. So that's something else to consider. So those are the two routes, but there are some that are in the middle. And the publisher that I've worked with most recently is Church Mag Press. And they are kind of a hybrid model where they don't have as much control as a traditional publisher, but they also leverage some of their audience to help you sell books. So there are hybrid models. Just look out for the people that are trying to make a buck on your book, charging you a lot more money to do what you can do yourself or what you can pay someone a lot less to do. I hope that those are some guidelines that can help you. So, how about it? Was it helpful? If it was, I'd love for you to join me on my weekly newsletter where I talk about all sorts of things like the books that I'm publishing and all. And if you'd like to do that, head on over to trinitydigitalmedia.com/gifts, GIFTS. And there you can select the gift that you'd like and sign up for the newsletter, all for free. So go ahead and do that, and then go out and change eternity. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford with trinitydigitalmedia.com. On today's show, should you traditionally Okay, take two.